Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Rex Rogosh, and let's queer up the USA view. South Carolina Capitol bows to Republican AG, repeals conversion therapy ban. South Carolina's capital city has repealed its ban on conversion therapy, despite an outcry from LGBTQ advocates and mental health professionals. The Columbia City Council voted 4-3 this week to overturn the 2021 ordinance, which had prohibited licensed therapists from attempting to change a minor's sexual orientation or gender identity. The law carried a $500 fine for violators and excluded religious leaders. Mayor Daniel Rickerman and council members Peter Brown, Ed McDowell, and Will Brennan all voted to lift the ban, citing pressure from South Carolina's Attorney General Alan Wilson. Wilson, a Republican running for governor, claimed the ordinance violated state and federal laws and threatened to cut off state funding if it remained in place. One voice of frustration was Jessica Thomas, a Columbia mayoral candidate, who told the Post and Courier, quote, "It's such a betrayal," end quote. Mental health experts also sounded alarms. Dr. Isabelle Mandell told council members, quote, "For y'all to give in and capitulate without a battle of any kind is strange to me. Where is the outrage? You haven't tried. You haven't fought it," end quote. Local attorney Nekki Shutt even offered to represent the city for free if the ordinance was challenged. She said, quote, "The city of Columbia is a refuge city in South Carolina for LGBTQ people. It's where we can feel safe," end quote. She said, according to the paper, quote, "I laid down roots because I feel safe here," end quote. Yet, despite pleas from citizens, medical groups, and attorneys, the council moved forward with the repeal for the second time in 2 weeks. Conversion therapy remains widely discredited by U.S. medical organizations. A 2023 coalition of 28 such groups condemned the practice outright. Still, politics and pressure appear to have carried the day in Columbia. I'm surprised that they didn't say we're protecting the children, because that seems to be the call to arms. We're protecting the children. And in this case, we're not protecting the children. We're abusing them. I mean, conversion therapy. If you've ever watched A Clockwork Orange, just think of that, and that's what it is. If you haven't, go watch it. It's brainwashing, and it's and it's child abuse is what it is. Period. And the fact that it was banned, but had a religious excerpt in it is the biggest abuse of them all, because how many people have we heard and dealt with in religious contexts that have abused children outright, period, on all forms. So the fact that we now have a government who has a representative, a Republican representative, who's probably used "let's protect the children" as a call to arms on many a things LGBTQ, is now using a law to abuse the children. So again, we're talking out both sides of our mouth.
First off, thank you for bringing up the religious exemption, because I was looking at that and I was like, I'm sorry, I think it's inappropriate when priests abuse children. Why? I don't think we should create exemptions for that. There's two things on here. On the one side, of course, the elected officials are cowards, and I hope people look at that and think, I'm going to file to run against them and dumb crap. There is also the honest issue of municipalities should not be deciding laws on mental health treatment.
Agreed.
And this is not the city council's fault. I'm not going to blame the Democrats for once. I think I shall blame R.F. Kennedy Jr. and Donald Trump, because they technically control HHS, and HHS should be banning conversion therapy. They should be regulating it out and making it's illegal to do this sort of practice. Where's the federal government? This is exactly what they're supposed to do with these sort of healthcare issues, but this poor municipality is trying to deal with it.
At this point, why don't we just bring back waterboarding and dungeons? I'm not, and that's the problem. It's just the hypocrisy of this government. It just repeats itself and repeats itself. And you're right. Calling out these people's names. Hopefully the local people, when election comes, they can get in there and get rid of these people. But what's interesting to me and what's scary to me is that this is just a city ordinance. Where's the state ordinance to get rid of conversion therapy, and doesn't that trump this one? And where's the line? We've seen time and time again cities having to put into law things to to get around state laws. We've seen it with flag bans and those types of things. But now we're going backwards, right? So can't we take what's done federally, or like what laws was this? What federal and state laws was this going against? I'd like to see those sightings. Like, please tell me what those laws were, because if that's the case, then we need to go after those laws as well.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if we have to go. I'm pretty sure the Health and Human Service Secretary can start the regulatory process to ban this practice. Mm-hmm. And whether it doesn't matter which party is in power, I say blame whoever's in power at the time because it's fun. And true. But like, they should be doing a regulation to phase this out. It is abuse.
Absolutely.
The medical community knows it's abuse. The medical community is very involved in the HHS regulatory policy, and they should just do it already. The fact that we need to legislate it is absurd. We already passed it.
Child services should already be busting people's doors down for, especially the very religious people who go and partake in this. I think it's crazy because there is no statistical evidence in any way, shape, or form, nothing new, nothing old, that shows that this is helpful in any way. It actually is contrary to that. The fact that it shows that it raises the suicide rate in these young people. Like, they end up killing themselves. It only appeases the parent who's forcing their own ideologies and indoctrinating their children into their religion and into their way of thinking, rather than opening themselves up to the reality of what we're actually dealing with here.
To be fair, it does sometimes increase tabloid sales because so many conversion therapy people are caught in gay sex scandals.
Well, and also
that's good.
Also true. But also it says, it makes a point in there, licensed professionals. Well, I can't believe that there are actual trained, licensed mental health professionals that would even practice in conversion therapy. Anyway, it's typically religious people or people who have said that they've been converted. I would like a list of people who actually practice law-abiding mental health services that are behind conversion therapy in general. And I guarantee you there's probably none.
No.
So that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There's no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.